Hi everybody, it's Tamara from Create Your Future and long time no see guys. I'm sorry about that. I have been taking quite a few vacations this year. I really needed that. I was overworked last year and I took some time off. But I have been working with some of you in the background, and in the meantime, I have gathered a couple of amazing success and progress stories that I want to share with you guys. So I'm glad to be back, and today's video is going to be another SP success story. So this client in particular, she came to me 3 months ago, I believe. And she told me the following story. So she is in no way new to the law of assumption or manifesting, right? She had done it quite a lot of times and she was able to see what worked for her, how it worked, but she was still perceiving her SP as a problem. So she came to me and she told me the story how she was able to manifest a romantic encounter with an A-list celebrity. I'm going to use Brad Pitt as an example. It wasn't Brad Pitt, but somebody pretty similar, okay? She was able to have, she got a kiss from the Brad Pitt guy. And then she moved on to tell me how her SP never saw her in a romantic way. They were only friends. He would never take any initiative. He never showed any kind of interest in dating her. And they had been friends for 10 plus years at that point. And she was like, I'm really frustrated. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But why am I not able to manifest this tomorrow? And I was like, your story that everybody, and you know, the manifesting works for everything except for your SP is exactly why you don't have it. So I have been saying this for quite a while, since the beginning of me making videos with Create Your Future. Guys, whatever technique or approach you might take, okay? Whether it's more logical or more spiritual or both, like me, your end goal is still the same, which is you have to become the person who has their desire. You have to accept that it's done, and you have to stop letting the 3D tell you who you are. You have to stop accepting the 3D circumstances which were created by your previous state of being, the one you abandoned. You don't want to occupy anymore. Once you realize that, the rest is easy. So letting go of the 3D completely, as much as you can. We still have to live in the 3D, I get that. You have to deal with it the best way you can in the moment. I get that. But at the end of the day, what story are you telling yourself? Who are you? Who are you being? Do you have your desire or not? Are you somebody who has it easy? Somebody who is fulfilled, lacks nothing and nobody? Or somebody who perceives their world as, yes, I can have X, Y, and Z, but not, this thing or this person right here. Well, in that case, the 3D world has no other options but to show you exactly who you are. So it's not about not reacting. It's not about not thinking of your desire. It's not about doing the right techniques, finding the secret sauce, secret technique to getting it all. None of that. Guys, if you have been able to experience a cup of coffee. I guarantee you, you're also able to experience anything or anyone in your world. But you have to give yourself this internally first. You have to accept that it's true for you. You have to know that it's done and stop trying to get it over there. Stop trying to forcefully change the 3D. Just realize it's a mere reflection of the state or states you have been occupying for a while. Nothing more. Nothing more. It's not something that can give you validation or proof of something you have just decided. Only your awareness, your I am, God, whatever you want to call it, can tell you that. So, we're using our awareness to shift, to decide who we want to be and what experiences we want to give ourselves. Only then the 3D world can show you that, can reflect that. So in the case of my client, and she sent a very lovely email that I'm about to read to you guys. Let me just finish the story and what I told her to do, essentially. So she kept asking me, what's wrong? Why can I get this right? Like, maybe, is it a technique that I'm using? Like, I have been scripting for as long as I can remember, and it worked every single time. Why isn't it working in the case of my SP? And I'm like, because this is exactly who you're being. You're embodying the state of mind, state of being, the identity of somebody who has it easy with everything else but their SP, but their relationship. So the world is showing you exactly that. And I told her, whatever technique you have been using cannot be wrong for you. As long as you use it to remember who you are and to solidify your decision, to really embody that state right there and then, instead of, I'm doing this so that I can wait for 3D to give me that for real. It's gonna work. So whatever approach, guys, you take, if you want to give yourself your desire by visualizing, by affirming, by just deciding once, remembering, inner conversations, journaling, in case of my client, they all work. When you realize that we are using these techniques to give ourselves those experiences when we want them, when we crave them, to remember who we are, to show ourselves the truth of who we are being, not to trick our mind or convince somebody or something out there that this is true for us, so that 3D can give us that for real. And in the meantime, we're still going to see things and perceive everything and be aware of the fact that we don't have that. So essentially, we're doing X, Y, and Z to get something out there, and in the meantime, we are going to embody the identity, the state of the person who doesn't have X, Y, and Z. This is never going to work. At very best, you're going to get some movement, experience something here and there. Some people experience full manifestation only to lose it a couple of days or weeks down the road. Why? Because you have never actually stuck to your decision to embody the state of being of somebody who is what they claim to be. In this case, I'm dating X, Y, and Z. And we're not just friends, we are lovers. And manifesting or journaling works for everything. Everything. She accepted that. And she was journaling to give herself the experiences she wanted to remember with this person, to remind herself of who she really was. And a couple of weeks later, she was hanging out with this person in the 3D. And out of nowhere, this guy confessed to feelings and asked her to be his girlfriend. So they're now dating exclusively. And she sent this email that I'm going to read to you guys now, okay? Okay, I have been heavily involved in these teachings since 2014, 2015, and I have manifested things that are mind-blowing. Things with A-list male celebrity, mind-blowing things with my weight. I lost 80 pounds. I've lost more recently because I wanted to. I'm in better shape and exceptional health now, even better than when I was in my 20s. Even after the ample amounts of things I've manifested, even after the gazillion times the law has shown its authenticity to me, somehow one day I felt I needed help. I felt I needed a professional, so I reached out and booked my session with Tamara. It was easy talking to her. It was just like chatting with your girlfriend over coffee. I didn't agree about the law of assumption, and I knew enough about myself to know that I was creating resistance. I needed help from Tamara related to my SP. She was wise, kind, supportive. I continued on my path after my call with her. Even though I saw some opposite things happening, I still persisted. Even if it was going to be affirmations, I still did it. I scripted and I did it in conversations while out walking. I saw my SP a week later, and even though he was nice and we had a great time, there was still no real movement. So guys, I'm gonna stop here for a second, okay? When it comes to movement, again, there is a reason why I never talk about movement in any of my videos. The reason is very simple. I don't want movement. I don't want you guys to settle for movement, okay? I want you to become the person who has their desire and eventually accepts it in the 3D as well. I don't want you or me to settle for some kind of movement. You can use movement in the 3D to keep you going, to again perceive that 3D is shifting to show you who you're being, right? But I want you to aim to stop relying on the 3D completely, okay? I want that to be your end goal. Stop relying, stop seeking any kind of validation or proof from the 3D because it can give you. It cannot. Again, your current 3D circumstances were created already. Creation is finished. That means your previous state of being, the previous decisions you made, the previous ways you chose to perceive things, yourself, your relationship, money, other people, whatever, your job, whatever. That is what solidified your 3D experiences. So I'm going to use shoes just for the sake of this example. Neville Goddard used suits. I'm going to use shoes. Let's say you have been wearing the same pair of shoes for X, Y, and Z amount of time. Your shoes are old, they stink, they smell, they're not fashionable, you don't like them anymore. In fact, they are hurting you. They're giving you blisters. Your feet are bleeding every time you're wearing them. So you decide one day, after a while, I'm going to get a new pair of shoes just because I can. I can always afford to. So why not? I can have perfectly fine, fashionable, comfortable pair of shoes. So you do that. You go into the store and you get yourself a new pair of shoes. What happens the following morning when you get up all groggy, you go to work, you're in a rush? You will most likely reach for your old pair of shoes and put them on. Why? Because that's what you have been doing for X, Y, and Z amount of time. That was natural for you. Our mind is habitual. But what do you do once you realize that you've put on the wrong pair of shoes? The ones you don't want to wear anymore. Do you cry about it? Do you try to change them, to turn them into new pair of shoes? Do you go around complaining about this pair of shoes? Most likely not. What you do then is just realize, oh, I'm silly. I don't even want to wear these shoes anymore. I have perfectly fine, new, comfy pair of shoes right here. I'm just going to wear these today. You stop worrying about the old shoes completely. Why you're trying to feel the pain of the old shoes, worrying about the smell, worrying about them being old, when you have perfectly new, fine pair of shoes right next to that. Doesn't make any sense, guys. Doesn't make any sense. The old shoes are never going to become just like the new ones. You're never going to change the old shoes. What you do have to do is leave them. Leave them. Not ignore their existence. Not ignore the fact that you once were wearing them for a while and they created the blisters. It's okay. But you have your awareness and you have the power to make a decision not to put them on today, but instead put the other pair of shoes on and go to work. Get out. Walk in those for a while. So, back to the story. What him and I had was what two friends or buddies would have, which is not what I was affirming for. I persisted in knowing who I was. Then one day, despite it all, voila, it happened. I wanted him to take the initiative. I wanted him to reach out to me and to make the move. So he kissed me more romantically than in the movies. And that is where our story begins. I'm continuing to journal all the things Tamara and I talked about. And once again, I'm proof that the law does not discriminate towards nobody and nothing. If you do whichever method resonates for you, and you try to keep busy with good things, then suddenly one day out of nowhere, your desire comes to fruition. I hope this will give somebody hope and strength. You've got this. So, the last part is something that I told her was essential. You're not here sitting and waiting for your manifestation to come true. There's nothing to wait for. You decide, you choose a method to give yourself that experience, to solidify your decision, and then you move on. You focus on whatever makes you happy, satisfied. You're not sitting there doubting oh my God, did I do this correctly? Did I affirm correctly? Did I affirm enough? Did I decide enough? How do I decide? You just do. How do you decide that today you're going to sleep in instead of getting up early? You just do. And then you follow it. You're not worried about the alarm because you know you made your decision. You're not concerned about the problems of your previous identity. So this is what I told her as well. You journal whatever experience you want to remember having with your person. In this case, it was him taking the initiative, kissing her, and so on. And then you move on. You do your job. You talk to your friends. You spend time with your family. You enjoy your hobbies. Whatever, watch movies, listen to music. You think about your next vacation, for example. You essentially embody the person who already has their desire. This is the point. That's the whole point of this game. Embodying the state, identity, the I am, whatever you want to call it, of the person who already has their desire. So there's nothing to wait around for. And even if you perceive circumstances in the 3D that don't serve you, again, I want you to dissociate. I want you to realize this right here has nothing to do with you anymore. You made a different decision. You're sticking with this. You know you had this experience because you gave it to yourself. So 3D that reflects your old state of being cannot tell you who you are. So why bother? Why bother? If you're gonna do X, Y, and Z to give yourself an experience, and then still heavily rely and seek validation and proof in the 3D, you're going to have a very hard time doing this. So to make this easier for all of you guys, rise above this surface level, okay? Go beyond thoughts, feelings, circumstances, whatever negative comes up. I want you to know the only reason they exist is because you were once occupying a very different identity. And this identity wants to stay alive. It wants to be part of your experience over and over. But you, as pure consciousness, you now have the power to say if you do want to experience that, if you want to go back to this identity, to state of being, or not. Remember, old shoes versus the new ones. So guys, which shoes are you going to walk around in today? You get to choose, and I hope you choose wisely. I hope today's story resonated and was helpful for you and educational. I wish you guys a lovely week ahead. If you have any comments or questions about the story, leave the comment down below and I'll make sure to reply to it. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next video. By the way, if you want to work with me, I'm now offering 20% off and the link is down below. So see you guys next time.